I had been born 6 weeks premature and was flagged sort of from that point on as just a failure to thrive. I didn't gain weight as quickly. I kept getting respiratory tract infections. I was slow in developing motor milestones, even though my development for speech and cognition were fine. So they treated what they thought was pneumonia. It didn't improve. So then they started looking for causes for the findings they could see on chest x-ray. They tested me for cystic fibrosis, which was negative. I got referred on to a respirologist who at that point identified that I also had an enlarged liver and spleen. And at that time I had an open liver biopsy done, and it was after the liver biopsy results that I was diagnosed with Niemann-Pick disease. In terms of who finally came up with the diagnosis, I believe it was the genetics and metabolics team at Sick Kids. They were given the diagnosis that I probably wouldn't live past the age of 4, and to just take me home, and there was nothing they could offer. There were no specific treatments recommended at that time. It was primarily just symptomatic treatment for things like recurrent pneumonias, respiratory infections, along with the restrictions on sports and activities that would pose a risk for liver and spleen injury. Niemann-Pick disease has always been part of my life. I don't know anything different than this. This is what I have always been. I've always been a little bit different in terms of the things I can do and the things that are limitations for me. So my biggest symptoms are shortness of breath. I have a lot of difficulty with my breathing. It's getting more so as I get older. Fatigue is a huge factor for me. And it's not just the, I've done too much, I'm tired. It's the wake up in the morning and think, oh my God, I am so tired. I just don't even know if I've got enough energy to start the day. The biggest challenge I find in working with the medical system and with physicians is around the fact that they often don't know the disease. You know, often folks that are living with this disease and have been living with it for a while know their bodies very well and know a lot about the disease itself. So working as a partner with them is going to work much better than trying to direct them, because they probably know as much about the disease as the physician does. In terms of changing things in the lives for ASMD patients, the first thing I would love to be able to do is to know that no one's going through this diagnostic journey that's taking, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years to get an answer. That, they're not getting a misdiagnosis. Getting involved with the patient community has great value in terms of allowing you to make those connections and not feel so alone. In terms of dealing with everyday life, it's trying to keep your sense of humor, because there are definitely potholes on this road, and it definitely is a challenge. And your sense of humor is going to be the thing that keeps you afloat. I think the most important thing to know about my specific journey is that although it isn't a road that anyone would have chosen, it has made me the person that I am today. And I like that person.